of Ebizindia. We are a web development company, and we help people get more business from the internet, and we also develop products. But leaving me out of this, congratulations for having been selected for the semi-final round. And this is basically a small presentation for you so that you can get notes on what will be the best way to make presentations to the jury, so that all the great products that you have in mind or you have already developed, they get selected and they get a good leverage with the jury. I have seen a lot of situations where we have got some very good product ideas and even ready products, but just because the pitch was not excellent, they got left out. So this is our attempt in guiding you a little bit. Please be innovative, please do your own ideas, but then this guide will probably keep you on the right track so that you can make an effective pitch. So let's dive right in. What you will do is basically you will have a PowerPoint presentation, and I suggest to you that the first slide of the presentation should have your project title. So try to give it an attractive project title and also mention the name of all your team members, and if possible their photographs. That gives a very personalized touch, and the jury can connect to your project. They can look at their corresponding notes, and they can also take notes so that they can identify you very well. Okay. So, lovely. So the next slide that you will put up, this is a very important slide, because whatever you've come up with, it should be solving a problem. So you please highlight the problem which you're solving. Don't straight away jump into your solution. Unless you've got a problem, it is not a very effective idea to pitch a solution. So describe the solution, why it is a pain, what kind of people are having that pain. That will set the stage for making an effective presentation about your pitch. In the next slide, you should be talking about your solution. So what have you done, what product you have created, what service you have launched, or what is your idea which is going to solve that problem for the people. Now sometimes the problem is the solution which you have created replaces an existing solution. So if you have Microsoft Office available in the market, but you've created another editor or another Office suite. At other times you have got a product, for example you may have an editor, an image editor, and you just adding some part to the editor as modules. So you can mention here that whether you'll be replacing a solution or you will be adding to an existing solution. There are cases where your solution will be absolutely new. There is nothing in the market which does the same thing that you're doing, and your software or your product will be solving a problem for which no solution is there. So you can highlight that. A very important slide for people who are, especially for people who are doing the idea to prototype thing, you have to talk about your technology. What unique thing of the technology you have used? Are you using a cloud? Are you using something related to mobiles or the Internet of Things, or you're using Java, PHP, whatever? So you're using a special database. So please highlight the technology. You must spend at least 60 seconds on this slide where you talk about the key thing that you're doing. Now this is another interesting thing, the USP. USP is basically the unique selling point, as you must already be knowing. So why should anybody bother about this solution that you are offering? This is the question which I typically end up asking anybody who makes a pitch, that okay fine, this solution looks very interesting, but why should I bother? I'm doing fine. So what you need to highlight over here is what is unique about the solution and why I should be troubled if I am not using your solution. That's a very important part of your pitch. So who buys your software or who buys your products? So that is customer segmentation, and you should be highlighting your customer base or the prospect base in a laser targeted fashion. Sometimes it happens that you actually trying to address multiple groups of people. In that case, I would say if you cannot actually laser focus on one group of people, you should highlight multiple groups of people, but mention them separately. So don't say everybody. That's a very bad answer. Nobody is happy, listening to, well, this is a word processor, so everybody can use it. You can say that, okay, business class executives can use it, also home users can use it. So you have to still segment your customer. That's very vital. Next is what stage of development you are in. Is it just an idea? You came to your mind, you think it is a fantastic idea, people are going to be bowled over, or you already created a prototype of your idea. You might have already launched an MVP. MVP is basically a minimum viable product. In fact, if you have not done it, I would suggest that you should think about what is the minimum number of features I can put in my product and launch in the market. We typically used to think that 70% will be a great percentage of completion when you should start launching or talking about the product. Because if you're just thinking that I will make a perfect product and then only I will go out in the market, then probably you'll be very late, and somebody else who's having the same idea, he'll probably steal the show. So tentatively, everything is there, or most of the things are there which are vital, without which the product cannot work. If you have got that stage, please go ahead and launch it in the market. If you've already launched a commercial product, you're making sales, etc., that will be fantastic. So this is what you should mention in this slide. Now, customer validation. Have you done any customer validation? How many people are already using it? Have they bought the software or the product, or you've given evaluation copies to some people? This is a very important thing which you have to mention, because whenever people are evaluating your idea and you're just having a prototype or an idea but nobody's using it, then we are not very impressed. We don't care if people have not bought it for money, or big money at least. But are there real users using it in real situation? That is very vital for us to know. If you have sold it, even if you have sold it for 1,000 rupees, 500 rupees or 1 lakh rupees, we will be happier. If you're looking for funding, then this is a very important slide for you. Generally, we would ask you how much money you require. So you should have a figure in mind. You do not say that as much money as you can give. Please always specify an exact amount. Okay, I will be happy if you give me 20 lakhs or 5 crores. So please put a specific sum of money, and then you've got to explain what are you going to do with that money. Some people say that, okay, I'll go and buy an office, or I'm going to advertise in the national daily and all that. So this is all junk. You cannot take my money and go and waste it all on advertising. If you require advertising, you should have a very clear reason why you should be advertising. If you've already done your customer validation, then maybe you really want to reach out to a lot of people, and then advertising could be a good option. But in general, these are not good answers. So you have to explain whether you want to hire 10 more developers, or you want to go out in America and attend some exhibition. So these specific answers will be very rewarding for you. Now, investors are generally interested in scale-up plans, and so are a jury who are evaluating a business plan. So if you made something which you can probably sell 100 of, and that will saturate the market, then I may not be very keen in your product. No. So you have to explain to us that whatever idea you are having, it can be sold in big numbers. And big numbers could be 1,000, big numbers could be 10 million. So please tell us how fast and how far can you scale. This is very, very important. And when you scaling up, then what are you stuck for? Do you need a lot of development to be done, or you need to reach out to the market? These things you can highlight on the slide. This is not about your questions, but you can include a slide at the end of your presentation mentioning questions. So as you might have been informed earlier, your presentation is going to be 5 minutes. And then we are leaving 5 minutes for the jury to ask you questions. Sometimes they ask too many questions and it goes further than 5 minutes. But you should be mentally prepared for questions around 5 minutes. And your pitch, you have to actually practice it very well and keep it within 5 minutes. Because if you are overshooting your time, please be mentally prepared. Somebody may turn off the mic, or somebody may actually hold your hand and pull you out. So these things are really very rude, but it happens, you know. So your pitch should be really practiced very well, and you have to complete your pitch within 5 minutes. Some more presentation techniques I would tell you. One of the things which is very interesting here is that sometimes you have a partner, one partner or two partners. So what happens is that one of the guys making the pitch. What does the second person do? This might generally become quite boring. So you could probably plan few things for the other person to tackle. One of the things is that if you have a prototype, the other person can hold it up, and it can be shown to the audience and the jury. Maybe by turning it around, you can show it around, or you can have a small laptop in which you can have a good screenshot of your product, whichever you have ready with. But you know, that will keep the other person busy, as well as it will be adding some pizzas to your presentation. This is one thing. Second thing is, which I will be covering in one of my other blog posts, which I will be showing you just now. There are some other things that the other guy can do, so we will talk about that. Meanwhile, I just wanted to mention a very interesting thing. Whenever you are making this presentation, at the bottom you should mention, and also in the first slide, you must mention your team name, and along with that the category. So are you pitching for the business plan or the idea to prototype sessions? So this is very vital. Please mention that. Now let's switch over. Give me a second, please. Yeah. So I believe now you can see a blog post which I have on my blog at www.arunagrawal.com, and I believe this link is already being put up in your chat box. So you can see that link, save it from there. Now this is a blog post which I had made to guide the people who are presenting to investors. I will just highlight a few points here which are very vital for you to know. Number one is that do not put too much text on the slides. You should be actually reading out. If you read out from the slides, then it becomes very boring, because most of the people can read faster than you can speak. So you must have noticed that happening with me also. In one or two slides, I ended up reading out the slide itself. So it becomes boring for you. Generally what you do is you just make the key point on the slide and then you speak about it. One of the advantages that you will get is that if an idea suddenly crops into your mind at the last moment, then you can also mention that idea. But if it is not in the slide, then it becomes very difficult to include that. Next thing is that the jury will grill you like crazy. Please be mentally prepared. They are going to really rugdify you. So you should not get frustrated, or why are they asking so many questions, or why the questions are so tough, etc. You know, you guys are professional people, so I know that you'll be ready, but still I wanted to alert you about this. People really want to find out who is the best. We do not want to put you down. The idea is that we want to find out who is the best person, number one, and number two, who is very passionate about the idea that you're talking about. It should not be a hobby project that, okay, if I got some spare time, I'll do it, otherwise I don't care. So that passion will actually show when we grill you. So please hold on, please manage, have some thick skin. Another very interesting thing which happens is that, you know, you start presenting and you want slide number 1, 2, 3 in that order. But I may get impatient and I will say, okay, fine, everything is looking good. How much money you want? Or suddenly I'll say, has somebody really bought your stuff? Which is probably on slide number 7 and you're still on slide number 2. So you should be mentally very, very clear to be able to jump from slide number 1 to 5 to 3 to 12. This is very important. You cannot insist. Some people actually come up and insist that we have to see the slideshow in order. We will not do it. So you should be mentally prepared to jump around when we ask for it. Rest of the things are all in front of you. So as I was mentioning, look at point number 10. If your partner can become the silent partner and they will take vigorous notes, mental notes, they will see the body language of the jury, they will see the body language of the audience, and they should be able to judge what's going on in their minds. We may be making a point which you have not thought about. Maybe you're not able to answer at this spot. But then what you should do is make a mental note of this question, and in your next presentation you should be prepared. Now the last thing I would like to mention to you, we will have a lot of presenters and everybody will not win. So please do not think that it is the end of the world. If you have won it, fantastic, congratulations once again. But in case you don't, you should actually come out with lots of mental notes which will prepare you for a much stronger pitch next time. So with that said, I would like to conclude my presentation and we would like to take up your questions. Whatever questions you have, please type it in the chat box and then we will go ahead and answer them for you. Thank you very much for listening to me. I hope it is very useful. Best wishes. I hope you make an awesome presentation.
Thanks, Arun. We have a question here.
So,
yeah, we have a question here from Deep Kumar Shah. He says that if we have designed but we haven't launched in the market, then what shall we do? How shall we promote his gadget or any goods?
Well, if you're talking about the presentation to the jury, then
okay, this is a I think this is an idea to prototype competition, team prelude.
Okay. So in the idea to prototype, we are still thinking that you only have a prototype and you have probably not gone to the market. So you can frankly tell us that we got this idea some time back. We have already built our prototype. This is the stage of completion of the prototype and now we are planning to go ahead in the market. So instead of reporting about what you did, you could possibly share your plans for going in the market.
So one more question is from idea to prototype team NASSCOM. Is it necessary for all members to speak in the presentation? I think you answered it, but I think
definitely not necessary. In fact, we would recommend that you generally get the best guy who can, frankly, without hesitating, present on the stage. Because what happens is that it looks like very smart move to present the first part through one guy and the second part through another guy. But then what happens is that when you're switching mics and the other guy may not be that confident, shaky, so it could actually hurt your presentation more. But if you guys are smart enough, if you feel confident, of course, at least one switch you can definitely do. But in case you're not, one guy could pitch and the other guy could do all the other activities I mentioned.
There's one more question from Priyanjit Ghosh. He asked how much technical questions related to prototype will be asked to us.
Completely depends. If we get very excited, we could even ask you about how you built it, how you assembled it all together. It's your product, so you should be ready to explain anything. In general, we will probably not grill you too much. The idea is more of an exploration than, we want to pass you than fail you. But still, your product, so you should be mentally ready for any level of questions.
There's one more question. Since the time is limited to 5 minutes, so if an individual conducts the whole presentation, does it send a bad signal? I think you already answered this. So
no, we don't. We don't mind if one guy, but the other guy should be a valuable contributor. So you could even mention that this is what I have done and this is the other person. So why is he on the team? He should not be a filler. So you could explain that part in 10 seconds, but because you don't want to.
Yeah, and Arun, we should remind them that the maximum number of slides that we want is 10, nothing more than that. We don't want more than 10 slides.
Oh yeah, I think I didn't mention this, but that should have been clear from the presentation. Because I was just talking about all these slides that we are going to include. So here's a reminder, guys. Maximum 10 slides in your presentation, and that includes the title slides. So if you falling short of slides, then you just speak about it. But do not include too many slides, because if you have slides, you will be wasting time.
Okay, there's one more question from team NASSCOM. How useful is a hardware? Actual model during the presentation or a software simulation is sufficient for the jury? I think whatever is quick should be done. So his question is, should he go ahead and showcase a hardware or a software simulation is sufficient?
Whatever makes it very clear to us what we are doing. So if you've got a hardware prototype and you can bring it along. If you're building a ship, you cannot bring a ship along. So whatever you can actually bring along on the stage in a comfortable, nice fashion, and if by looking at it we will understand. So if it is a gadget which does probably robotics or something, and you do not want to immediately demonstrate it, there's no point in bringing that gadget along. So you take your call. You can bring the hardware device itself or a software simulation or something. The idea is basically to make it clear to us, what is it that you have made, what is the specialty, why should I bother?
And the next question is, so the judges will ask us how prepared we are to enter the market. This is from Priyanjit Ghosh. How prepared they are to enter the market? Yes.
Yes, we will definitely ask you, because what is the point of building something if you do not want to go to the market?
Yeah, and
it could actually be important. I'll tell you something interesting. There's an anecdote here. There was a guy who told me that this is what I'm doing. I've got a very good plus job with McKinsey, and I will try this in the market for some time. I will hold on to my McKinsey job, and in case this does not pick up, then I will go back to my job. This guy is definitely going to fail. If there is no passion, if you've got a safe harbor where you can go back to, then it's very difficult for you to make success. I will not say you cannot succeed at all, but it will be difficult. So please really have the passion.
There's one more question. I think it's a repeat. What are the things needed other than the presentation? Can we show the application, and will it be included in the 5 minutes? I think for the idea to prototype, it is must that you should showcase the application, but not more than 60 seconds. So, Arun, if you can elaborate on that.
Because if you don't show anything, then you don't have a prototype. So you've got to have screenshots, you've got to have something working that will be useful. Of course, you have a total of 5 minutes, so you have to time it accordingly. If you spend 4 minutes in showing your stuff, then it may not be a great idea. You'll only have 1 minute left for the other things.
Yeah, there's one more question.
Show your thing. Go ahead.
Yeah. So there's one more question from Prateek Jaiswal. He says semi-final is on 17th. Do the top 5 finalists have to present again on 18th? So the answer is yes. They have to do a presentation, a pitch, 5 minutes, similar 5 minutes pitch again on the 18th, but the jury would be different. So if you want to add something.
Yeah, and I assume that whatever you learned during your presentation on 17th, whichever points you missed out, whatever was pointed out to you by the jury, you will be including that in the first presentation. While on the topic of presentation, I wanted to make something very clear to you guys, is that your presentation file should reach email address is esummit@insync.co.in. It is insync.co.in. That will be shared with you. It should be at least reaching us 1 hour before the start of the program. And the start of business plan is at 10 a.m. So 9 a.m. you should put it with us. And the idea to prototype session starts at 2:30. So you should have it submitted, the presentation part, submitted to us by 1:30. Your gadget or your software, etc., you can bring along, unless you want to include that in the presentation.
There's one more question from Priyanjit Ghosh. So he wants to know whether or not people will be asking about break-even and financials of the organization. So how much financial related stuff should they put on the presentation? He's
very little, but definitely you should be clear about them.
Yeah, but he's from the idea to prototype. Yeah.
Okay. In idea to prototype, we'll not be very keen to ask you these questions, but in the business plan, definitely we should be able to ask you these questions, and you should have a clear idea in mind. Like what all, as I mentioned in the how much funding you require. So something related to that. You should be able to say, well, I need, I've already spent 10 lakhs, I'll be needing another 10 lakhs to get it to the market, plus advertising cost, blah, blah, blah. So at 30 lakhs or 50 lakhs or some price, there I will break even. So this should be clear in your mind. But these things change, depending on the market, you could change. But you should have a clear picture and one picture in your mind.
There's just one more question which has come in. So this is a business plan competition, and it's from Prateek Jaiswal. Will we be allowed to sit through other teams' presentation? Yes. So the format is going to be that the entire, so all the audience is going to, all teams are going to put together. They'll all come into one room, and there'll be presentation one after the other. But we would have taken the presentation 1 hour before. If you want to add something, Arun, to that.
So you cannot change the presentation, but again I will mention that if you have not written down everything on your slides, then based on the experience of the other guys before you, you could possibly make the last moment course corrections and improve your speech.
Okay.
I think we are randomizing the presentations.
Yeah. So can we present hard data like survey report, questionnaires to the judges? This is a question again from...
Yes, you can, but you have to be extremely fast with that. Please do not bore us with details, because at this point of time we are just evaluating basically what you're doing and how useful it is, in our opinion, of course. So if there is a very interesting result of a survey, then you could definitely include it, but you have to be extremely fast with that.
Sumit wants to know what parameters are being used for the evaluation purpose.
Secret idea 1, 2 and 3. There will be 3 parameters. So basically it's the quality of your product, the feasibility of it going in the market, being acceptable to the market, does it solve a real problem, is it a good to have or a must to have solution, lots of things we have in mind. So we'll evaluate you on probably 100 parameters.
Okay, again the advantages to the team presenting first. How will the order be decided? I think
Random.
Randomly. Yeah.
We just talked about it.
Yeah.
We don't know who will be first.
Yeah. Given that certain products might be addressed only to niche market, how do you handle the question, why should I bother about your solution if I'm not using it?
Okay, to clarify, this is not about why should I bother. It's a prospective customer talking about it. So it's not like whether I bother or not. It's about, whoever you are targeting it for, do they bother? Number 1. Number 2 is niche market is something very interesting, and I would like to take about a minute to explain this. The niche market should be small enough so that you can actually reach out to them. And that is the reason I specifically mentioned everybody is not a good market. Because if you want to reach out to everyone, you will probably have to have some 20 billion or maybe even larger sum of money, which you are not going to get in the initial stage. So you should define your market segment in a very focused way, number 1. Number 2, you cannot say that in a spirit of joking, Mr. Rahul Gandhi and Mr. Sonia Gandhi are going to use. So 2 people probably will not be giving you enough sales. So you have to have a wide enough market to make enough number of sales and a small enough market to be able to reach out. This is how you go to define.
These are all the questions that we have, Arun. There are no other questions. I think if anybody has any other questions, they can put in there.
I always knew that we have a lovely audience and they understand it. Our idea was basically just to nudge them and guide them into not making the small mistakes which some people do, and based a lovely presentation that they could have made. So I believe we can leave them to go ahead with the presentations. I believe, Atul, we are also sharing the PowerPoint presentation which I have used.
Yes, so yes, we'll send it across, and we'll share the recording of this webinar as well. There's one more question from Sumit.
If you're interested in,
there's one more question. Do we include the challenges we might face in our presentation? Do we include the challenges?
Of course, you should.
Yeah.
Makes you more human.
Yeah.
If you have challenges, please talk to us about it. You tell them that, look, this is what I'm feeling that might cause me trouble, and I have this solution, or you can even ask for a solution, which we will probably not give during the presentation, because then it will start a discussion, waste your 5 minutes. But later on you could probably get an answer. But yes, having challenges makes you human, because we all have challenges.
Arpan Bose wants to know the what if we haven't done any customer trials for our product? He's an idea to prototype contestant. How will that affect our presentation?
Difficult question, because if you have not done any trial, someone else has done a trial, then of course you've got a handicap there. But other than that, this will probably not be the only factor on which we are going to judge you. So if you've got an awesome idea which is definitely going to be a killer product, but you have yet not tried it, then it's okay, except for some minor fraction points that you might be losing out. If others have already tried, it should not make a big deal.
So we have one more question. This is like very important. Will there be any individual mentorship if we need? So just to update you all that tomorrow we have another webinar. So this webinar is on a platform, on a mentoring platform that we are going to use, which is known as first100sales.com. So Mr. Rajiv Mukherjee is going to do that webinar, and all the jury who are involved in both these categories, the business plan and the idea to prototype category, they are going to individually mentor you guys. So you can have couple of hours from the jury and you could, speak to them, you could ask them for helps, and they could help you, tweak your presentation, pivot your idea and all that. So Arunji, if you want to add something. So we are having, even Arunji is a part of the mentor team.
Yeah, so you can ask us any questions which will help you go through the presentations and also to the market. Just don't try to influence us, because that will put you in trouble. Actually, this has happened a few times, so that is why I wanted to mention this. Some people have said, sir, how can we get selected or pre-selected?
So we have a similar question now.
Favors that we can pass on to you. Really sorry about that.
So Deep has the same question. What are the points that we should include to make our presentation look better than others?
Have awesome content. Firstly, you have to have a great product or the idea, and then you make a very sharp presentation. Don't blabber, don't beat about the bush. Talk about the real stuff. Don't fluff it out. We will know immediately when you start fluffing, because we have been there, done that. But if you're passionate, your passion actually should show. If the English is a bit broken, then we are fine. You speak with an accent, that's okay, because we're not judging you for your accent. We are judging you for the product or the idea. So you should be passionate about your product. Don't blabber around, just make an on the page, on the point, stick to your point. That's it. Be natural.
The participants wants to know your email IDs. Should we route it through esummit@inSync.co.in or?
Actually, this is very important. They should be writing to esummit@inSync, and then you could forward.
Yeah. So as I said, that there is going to be a mentoring platform, First 100 Sales, which is going to be provided all technology works. So we are going to have that platform, and there is an email ID which is provided to you, esummit@insync.co.in. You can put in all your queries and all your doubts in that email, and we'll accordingly route it to the mentor who's assigned to your team. So there's one more question which is Manveen Kaur. In 5 minutes presentation, can we show a minute or so animated video, etc.? So is it for an idea to prototype? Okay. No, I don't know. Manvik, or I'm not sure whether he's talking about a business plan or an idea to prototype. So let's say if it is a business plan and a 5 minutes pitch.
So business plan, I think it will be a bad idea, because it will take a minute away from a lot of things that you wanted to say. For an idea to prototype, because you will not have much information about the customers and all, you could use 1 minute of your time to show this, but then you have to take a call. You should be the right judge. Whether you want to spend 1 minute, the video has to be really awesome and deliver quality information. Because we are judging the product, not the video, so we will not get very impressed by the video quality. We would actually look at the video content.
Okay, what is more important, the technical know-how or the practical relevance? This is idea to prototype team ZenCom.
No, both are important. Both are important. You should have a theoretically strong product, but if you have a simple solution to a great problem, a very big problem, and you just come up with a fantastic simple solution which does not require huge amount of technology, why not? We don't mind. But since it is an idea to prototype, we'll probably look at you using some kind of technology, hardware or software or tools or whatever. So that will probably have some factor, but should be all right.
Yeah, Kunal has one question. Right now we have not yet completed our prototype fully. Still time is needed to complete it. Can we present the idea only and half of the application they can show? So for an idea to prototype competition.
See, I will say that whatever you have, please bring it along, because that will actually, put it further than, people who have got only ideas. So I have only one idea, you have got an idea and an unfinished prototype. So you are better than me anyway, So please bring what you have.
Okay, now Deep Kumar Shah, how we should end our slide. So I think you covered that. So so that it leaves, So it leaves an impression on the judges. He wants to know, and we have to greet them in the end in our slide. Is it necessary? Thank you, or what? Questions? I think questions is the right slide.
You could possibly say thanks for listening to my pitch, and I am free to answer your questions, whatever you have. So you don't have to hype it up. You don't have to, if you don't greet, we will not cut marks, So it's okay. But if you think, no, it's a courtesy, I should greet the jury, of course, please do that.
There's one question. Yeah.
Remember,
yeah, please complete.
Yeah, go ahead. Atul.
Yeah, okay. So Saurav has a question. Can we use animation in PowerPoint? I think we said no.
We should avoid.
Yeah.
We should avoid. It is a bad thing to do when you're presenting to jury members or investors. You don't want to impress them with your PowerPoint skills. You want to impress them with your idea and the product. So make simple slides. You could use color, you could take photographs, whatever, but then you try to make it as simple as possible. Stick to your point and have a great pitch. I think animations and all those fancy sounds are a strict no-no.
Okay, does the whole team take questions from the jury?
Yes. But the best person to answer that can answer. So it is not necessary that we will ask a particular person about a thing. We will be asking the team. So whoever is best equipped to answer, they can.
Okay, we don't have any further questions. I think there's one more which is coming, but I would remind everyone to join the webinar again tomorrow. I think it's scheduled for 3 p.m. I hope you guys would have received the webinar information. So that is where we are going to showcase the mentoring platform, and we are going to start assigning you individual mentors. So please join the webinar tomorrow. There's one more question from Teams and Com. Sometimes some technology we present are pre-existing but not widely used. So what if we provide a cheap and a better implementation of the same?
There is no problem. It is welcome. Again, you have to have a specific reason. You may say that XYZ technology is very expensive. It's not widely available. What we are doing is widely available. So that will put things in your favor, of course.
Again, a question related to video. Can we have video regarding our product? Can we include video regarding our product?
Guys, avoid videos, because unless you're specifically using the video medium to show a particular aspect of your product, which is very difficult to explain in text, by giving an explanation, but it could only be shown. So maybe you're showing an instrument to operate on people and all. So you cannot say we'll operate, you have to actually show it. Otherwise, avoid video, because it will take away valuable time.
So again, the same question, is it mandatory for every team member to present the slides, or is it up to them? I think Arun has already answered that.
Up to the team members. Up to the team members. Who's presenting doesn't matter to us. But be ready, mentally ready. We may ask, like, what is the other partner doing? How is he contributing to the project? So everything is being done by one guy, the other guy is just a standby or a filler. It may not be a great idea to have such a person.
So we've got.
We can ask you a question, but we don't mind if only one guy presents.
So do we wear formals?
So, not necessarily, not at all. In fact, you should be free. Again, we are not judging you on your clothes. Atul, please confirm. I believe it should be okay.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely okay. Yeah. So,
whatever.
Anything is okay. I don't think that's a problem. So how
many covers you up nicely and
how many people from the team will be on the stage? I think how many people
generally
from the team?
But if you have more people in your team,
Okay.
You could answer this question, Atul.
Yeah, so we would want the entire team to be there on stage, and so make use of the other team members, as Arun said. Someone holding a chartboard with some prototypes, some illustrations. I mean, because the entire team is going to get the reward, so the entire team should be there on the stage. There could be one guy presenting, but the team should be there on stage. There's one question: if selected for both the competition, do we have to make one presentation or for both competition? I think there is one team for one competition, so there's no chance that you will be selected for both the competition. I could not understand that question, Arpan, I think.
The idea is that somebody might be thinking that I'll get selected for both, and that should be fine. So the presentation can be the same, but depending on the topic, you could possibly alter your presentation. The pitch that you're making, but you could use the same slideshow if you want. I think I'm sorry, I would like to correct myself. Since you are mentioning on the slideshow whether you are pitching for B plan or the idea to prototype, so you have to have different copies, but the content would be the same, except for that.
But I think we do not have an overlap. We do not have an overlap. So the business plan teams.
Yeah, that's what I thought. We could anyway answer the question.
Yeah.
I get confused.
Okay. Can we know the jury member of the idea to prototype for 17th and 18th? So 17th is already, no. I think, yeah. So 17th. Are
you sharing the jury members' name?
Yeah, we put it up on the Facebook page. So yeah, and on the 18th.
There is no point because you cannot influence anyone.
So they are mentors. So they.
Smart.
Yeah. So you won't be able to influence them. And on 18th, we are not yet disclosing. So we'll let you know. So you'll see the juries in front of you on the 18th.
Yeah.
And that is not relevant.
Sometimes knowing the jury members becomes a problem, because you start thinking about, oh, this is a very tough guy, this is a very sweet guy, this is this kind of guy. So when making the presentation, you actually get influenced. So if I were making the presentation, I would say it's fine if I don't know the jury.
Okay. So again, is it necessary to present all the points in front of the judges that we have included in our slide?
Naturally.
Yeah. So
if you have got a slide, you should be able to talk about it. Of course, every slide does not take exact equal amount of time. So there will be a slide probably you want to spend 1.5 minutes on that, and there will be another slide you'd like to spend 10 seconds. And don't read out, most of the time I mention this again and again, is that at times we kind of end up reading out the slide. So the moment the slide comes up on the screen, we've already read it. So what you need to do is make your pitch in such a fashion that you are actually elaborating on the point and not reading it out. I had a lot of details on my slides because I was going to share the slide with you. That is why I had included much more information. But if I am actually making a presentation, I'll just have the point and then I will talk extempore. So in your case also, I would suggest put a limited amount of information on the slide and talk about it. If you're not feeling very confident, put more information on the slide.
Okay, so there are more questions which are coming in. Do we show the full financial model in Excel for business plan competition or key numbers only, such as break-even, customer acquisition cost? This is for business plan competition from Manveer.
Only key numbers will actually tilt it in your favor, because if you've got a very busy slide, with tons of information on one Excel sheet, nobody will be able to understand anything from there. So you will have to take pains to explain, and that will take away your valuable time. So over here you are actually not getting funded on the spot. So what you do is basically highlight the key things to impress me enough, and then if somebody asks few questions, oh, that's very interesting. Some of the guys I have seen, and this is a very good idea, is that some of the guys, what they do is they have some extra information attached at the end of the slideshow. So 10 slides is what I'm going to present, and after that I may have 2-3 slides which have got supplementary information. So when the judge is asking a question, and if you think one of those extra slides can answer it, then you could actually ask someone to bring that up. That could be a killer idea you could use in your presentations.
Okay, this so in case there is a lack of time, can we skip slides? I think you guys should rehearse and try and put it all up in 5 minutes. Arun, that is that?
Yes, because
Yeah.
skipping slides means skipping on information,
Mm-hmm.
and that will hurt you.
So
So you better practice how much time I'm going to give
how
on
should
this
we
slide.
alter the
And
slide?
I would suggest that you, I'm sorry, go
Okay,
ahead.
yeah. Please complete.
I was just saying that generally, most of the time we have seen that people get a bit shaky during the presentation and miss out on some points. So please practice very hard. Uh, you know, the best person to speak to is the mirror. But otherwise, if you've got other people in your team, if you've got friends, family, friend, you can speak in front of them also. Make a very rehearsed presentation because we want you to rock us.
So how should we alter
Go
the
ahead.
slide presentation topics on 18th than that of 17th? So
No,
so
actually, I would say that you don't have to change your slides most of the time. But based on the questions that people ask, if you realize that somebody asked you a very important question because you had not covered it, do not try to change. Yes, sir. You can and the page. Uh, can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
I think we lost Mr. Arun's audio. Can you guys hear me? Okay, so I'm going to take some of the questions which is here. So the presentation is not going to be very different from the 17th and the 18th. It is basically going to be the same presentation, but you are going to take your learning from the 17th and incorporate it on the 18th. So can we put, so this Abhijit is asking, can we put about funding information in idea to prototype? Because we want to come into the market. Of course, so in the idea to prototype, if you have a prototype ready and you want to come to the market, you can of course, put in your, financials in there for the judges to have a look at it. Is it necessary to have extensive financial knowledge for the business plan presentation? As Arun said that it's basically the key pointers that we are looking at. So we are not looking at you to be an expert in that subject. Okay, most important is, can you send us one demo PPT presentation? So we the template which is made by Arun, we will share it across to all of you. Please check your email IDs. I'm sure you'll get your presentation there. Okay, so that is all the time that we have now. I think we lost the audio of Arun. So I would like to thank Arun for the time that he has given us. And just to remind you guys that please join the webinar tomorrow. We are going to showcase you the platform in which the mentoring is going to happen. If you have any further questions, you can send your email to esummit@insync.co.in. Now, thanks a lot everyone for attending the webinar. Thank you.